Welcome to the first module in your vegan masterclass. We're going to be taking a look at all of the plus points and all of the potential pitfalls of a vegan diet and making sure that we're mindfully attending to those areas. In this module, we do have to just bear in mind before we get cracking, all different diet types have advantages and disadvantages. Some people, for example, want to go on a weight loss journey and they might choose to adopt intermittent fasting or portion control or tracking. There's lots and lots of different strategies out there. Each and every individual strategy has its own benefits and potential hurdles to look out for too. Veganism is no different. There's potential fantastic advantages. We're going to be taking a look at the big benefits to a vegan diet, but also taking a look at those areas that we really do need to carefully map out and just attend to as well. So one of the key advantages to a vegan diet that was apparent within my research was on the weight management side of things. So weight loss and weight maintenance also seems to be facilitated. So there's research that's taken place that's assessed and taken a look at loads and loads of different people, tens of thousands of participants that have adopted a vegan diet for a variety of different reasons, whether it be religious reasons or otherwise. And what we tend to find with anybody that's following a solely plant-based diet is that their BMI seems to naturally fall within healthy ranges. And lots of research has taken place, especially over recent years, to investigate to see why this is happening. And one of the main reasons that is suspected is that satiety levels are generally increased when it comes to vegan diets. And there's a host of different reasons for this. So there's different satiety hormones. These are responsible for making you feel full. There's also different hormones that are responsible for hunger, in particular ghrelin, that is the cue for the signal that your body sends to your brain to say, look, we're getting hungry here, we need some food. And when you're on a vegan diet, those hunger signals seem to be suppressed. Those satiety hormones seem to be optimized. So the combination of those two things, it's like a little cocktail of a fantastic environment for weight loss and also weight maintenance as well. So some of the nutritional factors here that are at play are when it comes to fiber intakes. The cell walls of plants are not digestible by humans. So again, it's not the most glamorous of examples. I do apologize in advance, but it's important. Let's say, for example, if you had a couple of handfuls of nuts and a couple of handfuls of sweet corn, that would pass through our digestive system relatively unchanged and almost fully intact when it, for choice of better words, comes out the other end. So what happens here is, nutritionally speaking, the cell walls that aren't digestible, we don't access those cells within those food sources anywhere near as effectively. So that means also that the calories that are consumed within those cells that are untouched, we also don't access. So there's almost like a displacement of calories that is taking place. And this has been found within the research on lots of different occasions. So it's really, really interesting, especially when we're on a weight loss journey, for example. So this second topic as well that's of interest is that when we're consuming plant-based sources, the calorie density per gram is a lot lower than in other diet types, generally speaking. So when we consume, let's say for a really nice example would be, if I ask you to order a takeaway now, it's very processed, there's maybe lots of fat and sugar and additives and lots of other different areas. Now, if I asked you to consume 1,000 calories from that takeaway, it'd be very, very easy to do that. However, when it comes to plant-based sources, let's say if I asked you to consume 1,000 calories of grapes or carrots or broccoli or something like that, it's actually very, very difficult. You're gonna become full before you get anywhere near those calorie intakes. So again, because of this, we can actually consume quite a large portion of food on the plate for relatively low calories in comparison. So again, there's lots of different factors that are playing into that weight loss journey and weight maintenance journey too. Really, really interesting and very, very valuable aspect of a vegan diet. So on the health front, of course, because we're consuming all of these amazing plant-based sources, we're also simultaneously going to be consuming lots of micronutrients, lots of antioxidants and phytochemicals, lots of areas of nutrition that are in support of gut health. So this is really, really a fantastic thing, you know, especially when we compare this to something like a generalized Western diet full of processed foods and lots of animal sources as well, but some of those animal sources are not necessarily a bad thing, but they're just highly processed. Convenience foods, things like that. When we compare that to a plant-based diet, the micronutrient content is sky high in comparison. The antioxidant content is sky high in comparison. The gut health properties that are facilitated by a plant-based diet are much higher too. So these are really, really beneficial areas. There's also lots of public health data as well, and general data from cohorts of people that follow vegan diets. There's a significantly lower risk of cardiovascular disease, lower risk of high blood pressure, and of course, like we mentioned, a lower risk of having obesity and being overweight because of this diet type. So really, really fantastic thing. When it comes to exercise, there may be seen lots of other additional benefits to exercise. So some of the reasons for these are higher carbohydrate intakes, again, because that higher antioxidant values, those free radicals and recovery and things like that are generally optimized. And a higher micronutrient intake, again, helps with lots of different things from muscular growth and adaptation. Lots and lots of real beneficial areas from the exercise side of things in specific reference to a vegan diet too. One area that we do need to take a key look at is the risk of deficiencies. Because we're removing animal sources of food intakes, we do need to simultaneously take a look at the deficiencies that are associated with that, where some of the micronutrients are predominantly found within animal sources of intakes. So vitamin B12 is responsible for nerve health and function, psychological function, DNA function, depression, memory, so lots of psychological aspects there too. We've got fatty acids, in particular ALA, EHA and DPA. So some of these fatty acids are really key and pivotal for different stages of development early on, fetal development, and also later on in life in healthy aging, and also for everybody for cell membrane function. So a really important aspect of nutrition that we need to pay attention to. We've got iron for growth, development, blood cell function, muscle oxygen transport. So again, if you're exercising, this is going to be massively beneficial for you to focus on too. Lots of other areas from zinc to iodine, vitamin D, calcium, helps with everything from immunity to thyroid function, thyroid hormones, and healthy metabolic rate with iodine. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin that helps calcium and phosphorus absorption. So obviously if we're not getting the right levels of vitamin D, we're probably not going to be facilitating the absorption of the other micronutrients like calcium and phosphorus as well. Helps with infection and inflammation. So you can see there's loads and loads of different areas. So it's a bit of a domino effect. If we've got deficiencies or low level intakes in these areas, it has a knock-on effect to other areas of your health, performance as well. So we do need to take a look at protein as well. A protein is one of those areas that when we're following a plant-based approach, we do need to be mindful of how much protein we're consuming. It's essential for muscle adaptations. It helps with satiety, so especially if you're on a weight loss journey, making sure that we're hitting the required protein levels. It makes you feel full. It makes you stop eating everything in sight. We just need to make sure that the satiety intakes are ticked off too. The problem with protein on a plant-based approach is that these are generally considered as less complete sources of protein So there's lots of different amino acids that we need to absorb consume within our diet. And if we haven't got a complete source of all of those amino acids being ticked off, the benefits of protein are going to be less optimal. So we have seen within lots of really good quality research that there are protein digestibility assessments available, and these assessments have taken place, and we can see that protein digestibility isn't as high in plant-based sources in comparison to animal-based sources. So as a result, we do just have to think to ourselves, maybe we actually just need to top up those protein intakes, and any recommended intakes just needs to be nudged a little bit higher in order to compensate for that. There's lots of different protein digestibility assessments, and one of them is called DIAAS. And this is something that also factors in an important area that isn't present in other assessments, the anti-nutrient factors. This is basically a term for a micronutrient or otherwise that has a negative impact on the absorption of other areas of your nutrition. So the anti-nutrient factors for protein quality are really important. We do need to factor this in and just make sure that we're getting as many days as possible hitting those protein intakes, even more so when we're following a plant-based diet, and also potentially just increasing those target intakes on a day-to-day basis as well. So on this vegan masterclass, what we've done today so far, we've assessed all of the different amazing areas that you're going to benefit from a vegan diet. We've also assessed some of the challenges, some of the hurdles that lots of people potentially experience as part of following a vegan diet and a plant-based approach. And again, you'll have seen this in the media and things like that. You know, there's lots of high profile celebrities and athletes and other people who have just generally followed a vegan diet that have had negative health consequences, and it doesn't have to be that way. The reason why they've experienced that is because they've not constructed a well thought out vegan diet. That's the difference. You can go onto any diet and have deficiencies and problems and challenges and hurdles, like we've mentioned already. So what we need to do is, especially when you're following a plant-based approach, a vegan diet, we do need to make sure that those areas that we've identified are attended to, so that you can have all the benefits of the vegan diet, plus optimize those potential hurdles. Happy days from that point onwards. So what can you expect in the next module? We're going to be going to a few more different topics. We're going to be taking a look at energy needs. Very important, something that's overlooked in lots and lots of different journeys. We need to take a look at those protein needs and also give you lots of examples of where we can find higher levels of protein intake, so you can successfully and consistently tick off those protein boxes as well. The nutrition deficiencies that we've identified in this module, we're going to go into practical solutions on how to combat those particular areas. And also we're going to finish off with, let's just see what a normal day would look like with a certain amount of calories and also the protein data included as well. Just to give you a bit of an idea, I'm one of those people that needs to have really beautiful foods, and plants have phenomenal flavors. So when you get it right, you can have a diet that you can look forward to and thoroughly enjoy every single day of the week. If that sounds like you, then obviously we're going to be going into the next module, and I'm really, really looking forward to delivering that for you. So we'll see you there on the next module.